in the halls with Charlie. La 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 la. What's biology all about? Now, what's biology all about? Well, here we go. Biology is all about things, and those things are just one of the most fantastic objects in the universe. It's about life, it's about everything. So this series will be split into several parts. In fact, I think I'll split it up into 3 parts. Well, yeah, actually 3 parts. Because of this, first of all, today we're going to talk about part 1 and part 2. What's life and how do human bodies work? Let's go! Now, let's start off with what's life. Life is just life. It's how organic things go ahead and multiply themselves. This is not life. It's a pretty good representation of life, though. There's a mama, and the mama with a papa, goes ahead and creates a baby, and then just as reproduction intends it keeps making little babies too. Which this one makes little babies, and this one also makes little babies, and so on, until you have literally the last baby there. You can always retrace everyone back to their little places of origins. And I just like to do this because I like using Russian dolls, but also for the fact that these are actually a good way to represent life. It's about reproduction, and there's always one, and there's also a way we can find out the origins of life, but that we don't get to that until part 4. Well, at least part 4 from this book. But we can actually just go ahead and reverse all the changes that we found out, to go ahead and try to figure out who is the origins of life, who is the first organism. And eventually, so right now, we're stuck here. We have no idea who the biggest organism, who the smallest organism is. We still have no idea about that. There we go. Now, how do biologists divide things up? Well, it turns out there's a system that actually divides and divvies up how biology seems to work out. It's all like the animal kingdom. The animal kingdom, because we're like the animals. Then the phylum, and then the genus, and then the order, and then the genus, and then the species, those kind of things. The animal, phylum, order, genus, species. There's definitely more there, though. And that happens, and we can actually use all this to go ahead and make things go up. Like phylum, class, order, genus, species. Those kinds of things. Order, family, genus, species. All those kind of things, and this is how we do it. In fact, there are more than just the animal kingdom. There are way, way more. In fact, there's the plant kingdom, the fungus kingdom, the protist kingdom, and the prokaryote kingdom. And yeah, that all works out really, really fine. And the name of each species actually comes from their genus and species. Like we, Homo sapiens, the guys that are all like, we're gonna bonk our heads, and those kinds of monkeys, according to my friend. Call us primates, please, my friend. That happened. And, well, we turned ourselves into Homo sapiens. We don't call ourselves monkeys, because we're primates. Sure, we are primates. We're not monkeys, though. Well, we're definitely not intelligent monkeys. And yeah, there you go. And there are loads of things with animals. Animals are great. In fact, they're so great that we kinda cannot live without them, because we're animals ourselves. Animals have backbones, and the biggest, heaviest animals are actually the vertebrae, the ones with the backbones. This means that they can do anything. They have a backbone to support their bodies, and this is really useful too. But the ones without the backbones, like invertebrate, those sometimes have soft, squishy bodies. Sometimes, well, yeah, they have soft, squishy bodies, or they just have an exoskeleton. Or, yeah, they can just regrow parts and those kind of things. And that's pretty much awesome. And there's also the plant kingdom. And the plant kingdom is basically all those kinds of things. You have a seedy plants. And then there are some plants that actually don't make seeds. In fact, these create spores. And spores are like those funguses and everything. And they're the ones who just goes ahead and spreads throughout things. Then, what are living things made from? Well, they're all made from cells. These cells, of course, are also made of atoms, but hey, that's for chemistry and physics. Anyways, these are cells, and they each all have nucleus and a mitochondria. They don't really care if you have something else, so those other things were developed. But basically, to have a cell, you need a big organism which has a nucleus and a mitochondria to create ATP, the energy currency of life. And animal cells don't really need a cell wall. Plant cells, for great reasons, do. And that's what makes them so rigid. Oh, yay! Yeah! I forgot to mention, Happy New Year! Well, it's kind of late, so I'm 5 days late saying this. And how do cells actually stick together? They stick together by, well, we actually have literally some ideas though. They stick together to create tissues, but we're not exactly sure ourselves. These make up this by creating tissue, and then those tissues turns into organs. Like those cells turns into tissues, and those tissues turn into organs. Those organs turn into organ systems, and those organ systems combine together to create a human body. Yeah, like the Russian dolls. Remember? Let me go start from the beginning. You have a cell, and cells plus cells equals a tissue, and then tissues plus tissues equals an organ. And organs plus other organs equals, oh my gosh, organs plus other organs equals organ systems. And organ systems plus other and bunch of other organ systems of different types equals a human body. Hello, we are organ systems, and we create a human body. Let's never use this Russian doll again. It makes so many screeching sounds. There we go. And that's basically what biology is all about. And next, we're going to have to talk about the very first cell, but we're not going to go into that. Let's not go into that. How do our human bodies even work? Now, our human bodies work in several ways. In fact, they work out like this. They have some bones, like skeletons, which lets them move around. But it's not just skeletons that lets them move around. It's just the structure that gives it. But bones are connected together with muscles, too. And muscles are things that let us move around. Also, without bones, the muscles would just be plain as useless as bones are without muscles. Wait, the muscles are also tendons, and they're the ones that stick to the bones. And those bones are just the structure for the muscles to be on, so that we can, like, go ahead and flex our muscles. Like, fine, flex your muscles. Smack, smack. Those kind of things. Yeah, I love those. That happens, and using these muscles, we can actually exert the force on them. And this might be counterintuitive, but every time you exercise, you're actually damaging your muscles. And you're like, so why are we exercising? Well, the damage is microscopic. And so when the body fixes it all, you basically get stronger and you can take more tension. Like, if you open an iron door after you open a wooden door for 5 billion years, for like hundreds of times, you'd be like, ugh, and then you've broken your muscles a little bit, you've torn your muscles a little bit, and then the body's repaired it, and now you can just do it with ease because you are now built for it. Nice. Also, the reason why babies are really weak, they have underdeveloped muscles compared to adults. There are also weird optical illusions. This might seem like there's a Godzilla, there's a King Kong chasing a little gorilla, but actually it's just optical illusions. In fact, they're actually just the same picture. It's just like they're in front of a green screen. Yeah, but our eyes trick us into thinking that the one behind us is giant, even though they're literally the same size. Because, well, the background itself actually shows us that things are going smaller, and if it stays the same size, then that means it must be bigger, even though you're looking at it far away. And then you also need fuel too. Our digestive system literally uses our fuel to go ahead to create chemicals that breaks down the energy, and then those energies used by us to actually use and flex our muscles. But also we need oxygen to actually keep our muscles running too. Now here's a healthy lung that lets in oxygen, but here's a lung damaged by smoking, which is why people say do not smoke. Even so long, like a few decades ago, doctors were like, smoke, go ahead, you can smoke, it's not going to damage your health, it's going to be beneficial, which is not that good, to be honest. And all those oxygen is carried by the blood highway, which is basically like the highway. And these platelets go ahead. These like little blue stuff are actually platelets. We're not sure they're blue. So these platelets go ahead, and they're the ones that if we accidentally cut ourselves and it leaks out blood, platelets are the ones that stop the bleeding. And then the white blood cells, they're actually white, not yellow, by the way. They're the ones who actually eat the invaders and try to destroy the invaders, which are also part of our immune system, which lets us be healthy. Then we have reproduction. And this happens when Well, sperm comes out of the testes, which via the private male body part, and then goes into the woman's private part and hits the eggs, which are created in the ovaries. And this happens with X. I'm just gonna say X because that's the last letter of the S word, X. And that happens after X happens. It goes ahead and, well, at least they create a baby. That's not weird. That happens, and the baby comes out of the hole. And yeah, sometimes babies, their heads are a bit too big, so they get stuck in the hole. I have a friend who's been stuck in the hole for a bit of a while, so they had to push it out really, really hard. That must have been painful. And that happened. And then the baby, according to this, will be pushed out of the cervix. And that hole I just talked about, that was apparently called the cervix. And how do cells know what to do? Because of DNA and genes, DNA and genes, DNA and genes, DNA and genes. Genes are awesome because they're the ones that actually decode life. And it's because of the genes that goes ahead and tells us if you're a girl or boy. If you have an X chromosome, an X gene, and 2 X genes, then you basically become a girl. But if you have 1 X gene and a Y gene, you become a boy. So technically, then the sperm can be X or Y, but the egg can only be X because, well, girls only have X, so they can only release X, but boys can have also X and also Y, so they can release both. Nice! And that happens, and luckily I'm XY. I'm multi. What about other animals? I'm not gonna go into other animals. It's about the human body, idiots! Human body! Ah! Just skip. And next up, we'll be talking about how the plants work in the next episode. See you guys soon. Peace.